Welcome to Cloudcast, where you get an inside look at St. Cloud, Florida's local government. Whether you live, work, or play here, we're bringing you the information you need to better understand your city. Cloudcast is hosted by our communications team, including Miriam Batchelder, Andrew Sullivan, Deborah Carson, and J.B. Miller. Thanks for listening in to Cloudcast.
All right, welcome back, St. Cloud, to another edition of Cloudcast. This is Mary Emma with the city's communications team, in studio with J.B. Miller.
Hey, everybody.
And our special guest today is Josh Johnson from our Public Works Department.
Thanks for having me.
We are glad you're here. So we are here to talk about a title that's going to put everybody in kind of a Disney theme song mode, maybe, or maybe it's just me. Under the Streets. Get it? Under the sea, under the streets. Okay, anyway. So Josh is here today to talk a little bit about how we monitor and maintain the city's stormwater system, which is, spoiler alert, under the streets. And this is a job that's not always for the weak of heart, because sometimes these guys are going way far underground and way down that pipe. So Josh, welcome. Thank you for being here. Let's start with just, the basics here. Explain to me what a stormwater system is and what it's designed for.
A stormwater system is a way to carry the rainwater from point A to point B. It's a conveyance system. A lot of times you'll see these boxes with these iron grates in the yards or throated inlets along the curbs. It takes that water and it'll take it to a either retention, detention pond, and it'll settle there before it goes into the lake. That way we keep down on pollution. Okay,
I got you. So when we're talking about our stormwater system, we're talking not about what happens when you flush your toilet. We're not talking about when you turn on your faucet. This is literally taking rain that falls and how we manage it and move it through the system, ultimately ending up in East Lake Tahoe.
Correct.
Okay, yes. Great. So I know we have talked a lot the last few weeks about storm preparations, and we're cleaning ditches and making sure that system flows well. But we wanted to just kind of deep dive today into how we maintain and operate that system year round. So talk to me a little bit about because I know we've got all kind of really cool tools when we do our kind of community events and touch a truck things. You guys have got some pretty neat systems. So talk a little bit about how that process works of inspecting and monitoring and then ultimately making any repairs that need to happen before they become a big deal.
Okay, well, our first line of defense is our street sweepers. You'll see them out in neighborhoods that have curbs. They'll try to catch all the leaf litter, grass litter, dirt, whatever's on the roads before it gets into the storm system. Secondly, we have our vectors. They're the larger trucks. It's like a vacuum on wheels. And
I feel like those things could pick up a bowling ball from a mile away. Like the suction is pretty impressive, right?
Yeah, they can. And it has a big router. It's like a huge pressure washing missile that'll shoot down the storm drain itself, and it'll pull back all that leaf litter, dirt, debris, whatever's in there, and we vacuum it up and capture it that way. And then we'll take it to the transfer station and dump it. And it will clean the catch basins out themselves, because the catch basin, it actually catches a lot of that stuff and holds it in there so it don't go in the pipes as well.
So this is the stuff, so street sweepers have missed or didn't get street swept, right? So there's these catch basins underground, right?
Yes.
That this truck is going in and catching. Okay.
Yes.
So we think about networks in terms of data networks, but we don't realize there's this whole network underground of actual pipes
exactly
doing all this.
Yeah. You drive over these streets and never really realize, what's going on with that. So I'm assuming, let's say we get a concern from a resident saying that when it's raining, their street that used to not have standing water on it is now having standing water. So at that point, we basically would send out one of these vac trucks. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. We'll go out, we'll inspect it. We'll make sure that there's no blockage, because a lot of times you'll get some sticks and palm fronds and newspapers, whatever there might be in there, that can actually clog it. And then we'll shoot that missile through there, that big router head, and it'll break it loose. and then we'll bring all that debris back and it'll start flowing again like it should.
Okay, great. So let's pretend we've done that and there's still some issues. I know you've got a closed circuit TV truck that we can send in. Talk a little bit about when we use that and how it helps us.
We try to use it more regularly now to inspect the pipes to make sure that we can bring awareness to a situation, try to get to it beforehand before you actually see like a sinkhole in the road or in your yard, stuff like that. But it's basically just like a little robot on wheels. Goes down, has a good clear video. You can see the holes in the pipes, or a lot of the things we're running into now is they're doing a lot of directional boring in the city. And a lot of the times they'll hit our pipes or break them and then shoot the fiber optic through there. And that'll actually cause a leak as well.
Okay. And if those don't get detected, what we end up seeing at the surface is kind of a depression in the road.
Yeah,
right, in somebody's grass or something
it'll
like
be
that.
a depression in their yard or in the road itself.
Okay. So let's pretend that we found that. We've got a pipe with a big hole in it, for example. Obviously, water going through a pipe with a hole in it isn't going to be working anywhere near like it's designed. So what do we do at that point? Do we have to dig up the whole street, replace the pipe? What do we do?
We have a few options we can do. We can do a pipe repair ourselves, depending on the extent of the damage. A lot of times we'll dig down to it. We can wrap it, cement it as what we call like a DOT collar, or we can do a cured in place pipe liner if it's really bad. And it's kind of like a sock in a way. Like if you turn your sock inside out, they'll start on the upstream side of the catch basin. They'll shoot the liner in place. And what they do is they fill it with water, boiling water, and it cures fiberglass. It's like a brand new pipe.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, we just recently did that on Crawford Avenue. There was corrugated metal pipe. I think it was 54 inch, and the whole bottom was gone. It was just totally deteriorated. It's met its life expectancy, and it was probably about 50 years old.
Okay. Now, you mentioned that pipe was corrugated metal. Is that what you said? Okay. So are all of our pipes corrugated metal, or what kind of pipes do we have for stormwater here?
We have corrugated metal pipe. We have RCP, which is round concrete pipe, and we also have plastic pipe.
Okay. Life expectancy typically on a stormwater pipe is?
The corrugated metal is usually 20 to 40 years. Some of your concrete pipe is 100 years.
Wow.
And then the plastic pipe, it's usually maybe 20 to 50 years.
Okay. I know if people who have been in St. Cloud for a few years, 5-6 years, may remember there was an infamous failure of one of these stormwater systems that was maintained by Florida Department of Transportation. And we ended up having to close down Canoe Creek Road for a period of time to rebuild a bridge there over that creek. Talk a little bit about kind of like, and that's to me worst case scenario, right? If we have one of these kind of silent happenings and you don't really realize it until you get this failure of the roadway. Talk a little bit about what happened there and kind of how that repair went. Yeah,
that was a corrugated metal pipe, and I don't know exactly when it was installed, but I could imagine it was probably over 40 years, and it just started to rust. The bottom of it started to rust. What you'll get is some infiltration of sand, dirt, lime rock, and it'll just slowly start, caving in, and then before you know it, your whole road's gone.
Yeah. So obviously that's what we're working to prevent here. Exactly right. So, we're very interested in knowing if there become depressions or divots in roadways that weren't there, a week ago, things like that. And that way we can get ahead of them before we have that kind of failure that's extremely disruptive to traffic, especially on some of these busier streets.
For sure.
Could I back up for a sec? You mentioned what the pipes, what they're made out of. I have seen, not active, but examples of clay pipes and wood pipes from the old days. Do you still run across those?
We do still run across some terracotta. That's the old clay pipes you're talking about. And then the old wooden water main. Every once in a while you get into it, but that's
crazy. That stuff's got to be what, like 100 years old? Yeah.
Over 100 years old.
That's crazy.
I'm sure once you find that, it's out with that, whatever you got on hand to fix that. You were mentioning about the vac trucks. Are those just used like on the major roadways, or do you use those in the neighborhoods also?
Both. We use them in what I call the grid, which is, the downtown and state streets. Yeah. We also do the subdivisions too, as well.
I got to say, I'm kind of fascinated with those trucks because, as you mentioned earlier, it's like a wet dry vac on steroids, basically, like to the 10th degree. And I was like driving by seeing those out there because I know what they're doing and what they're capable of and what you guys are doing. So it's just good to know. Plus, I'll say, and I've said this before, but Josh and his crew did help get a skateboard out of the stormwater that my stepson had slid down into one of the outlets, and I didn't know what to do, so I called those guys up. And
we've had a few, I want to say, rescues. We've rescued many of little baby ducks.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, sure.
And we actually we rescued a really nice engagement ring one time.
Oh,
Wait, did it get thrown there or dropped accidentally? Inquiring minds want to know.
It actually got thrown there. There was a little bit of a dispute, and somebody got mad and ding, ding, ding. Oof. I would have never thought we would have found it, but we and it was in a subdivision. We sucked the catch basin out and did all we could, and I'm like, well, this is the best we can do. We went back to the landfill and slowly opened the back of the jet vac. And for whatever reason, there it was, just right there on the back.
It was sparkling there. Okay.
I was like, wow.
Note to self, if you're going to throw your engagement ring, don't throw it down the storm sewer.
No.
Strange but true stories of the jet vac.
We could do a whole cloudcast on crazy things you found in the storm drains, right?
Oh, we've found quite a few things. Wallets, license.
Sure. Anything that can, say fall out of your car,
keys,
get washed away down, and, you get out just by next to the curb and it washes away.
I got to tell you, Josh, I maybe could have used you guys back in the day when I was very young. We heard a kitten meowing in a storm drain once. And I think I was probably 7 at the time, so my sisters were maybe 11, 12. And all of us neighborhood kids somehow got the lid off of that thing and crawled down that thing and got the cat out. And I'm like, looking back on it now, I'm like, wow, that was a really bad idea.
Things you do as kids.
But it was a long-haired, 3-colored cat. Her name was Puff, and she lived to be 16 years old. Thank you very much. That's my happy ending story from... And Mariemma did not go down into the storm sewer drain, but neighborhood kids, like the heroic rescue.
I'm glad it turned out that way. I wasn't sure that's how that story was going to end.
It's funny. It never occurred to any of us to go ask some adult for some assistance with this. I'm sure firefighters, public works guys, somebody could have done that much more safely. But there we are. It had a happy ending. Cat lived, kids all lived. So, Josh, what can residents do to help us keep our storm sewer system working efficiently and not failing?
The biggest thing that the public can do is just make sure when you're mowing your yard or whatnot, you take your grass clippings and you blow them back into your yard.
Don't blow them back into the storm sewer.
Yep, don't blow them out in the street, because whatever you put in the street's going to end up in the storm system, and then eventually it's going to end up in the lake.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so would the lake be considered, because you mentioned retention and detention, so would the lake be like the detention area, in other words, where the water goes to?
Yes.
Okay. See, I'm learning stuff. This is great stuff.
See, even we learn things when we bring these experts in, and that's why we do it.
That's right.
Awesome. All right. Well, Josh, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate it as always. So, folks,
my pleasure.
If you see one of those big vac trucks out in your neighborhood, now you know what it's doing. We appreciate you guys joining us again for another edition of Cloudcast. We look forward to seeing you back for our next one.
Thanks for stopping by, everybody.
That's it for this edition of Cloudcast. Don't forget to like, follow, rate, and review, and we'll see you next time on Cloudcast.